Hey, behind my blue eyes and storylines with Miss Lisa Marie. Hey, Whew. So I feel like I have been dealing with a couple of feedback loops that have been presenting. And they're really coming online as I am gearing up to address a medical system that I'm not quite sure that I want to participate in. I know. And I want to believe in the process, but there's also information, an intuitiveness, and a guiding light that also offers information that I'm, frequency matching with right now. I'm harmonizing with it, right? Or I'm attempting to, because I see both. How do I explain it? Okay, here, hang on. Okay, let's see if I can do it. Okay, so here I have my battery and here's a crystal. And there's a distance in between them, right? And they're so close, but they're so far away. And sometimes they're not magnetizing. They're actually like opposite forces and they're like blah. And so like I have both awarenesses and both are valid at the same time. And I understand that both can be appreciated, but one has a power over dynamic associated with it, the big battery. That's not very, it's kind of a little toxic, right? And this crystal is a beautiful dynamic. It does have an influence on our cellular body and our emotional body and our spiritual body and our mental body. But it's kind of unseen, and it's just so pretty, right? Um, and both are choices to kind of resonate with, but both are valid simultaneously, and I get that. One, like the crystal, is saying just perfect as it is. How it's unfolding is, what happened. It's in this beautiful structure, right? It's contained and it's imperfectly perfect. And this other spectrum is okay, you're imperfectly perfect. We have a way to kind of help bring your imperfection a little bit more in alignment. And that sounds so pure and it sounds so beautiful. And like, yes, okay, thank you. But there's also this system that's controlled, this overlay that controls this battery, right? Or this other medical system. And that's like insurances, that's shareholders, that's agendas, that's what information is released and what is withheld, right? And as a young child, I was taught that power is information, right? And to share information freely, because that really is this like a cohesion. It's a distribution of information, knowledge, love, compassion. Right? It's not to own. It's not to possess. It's not to be powerful over that dynamic. And so I know that there's really awesome intentions with the medical system, but there's also a part of it that works against individuality and that works against the, just meeting people where they are at, right? And so that's kind of what I'm up against. It's like I'm trying to harmonize them, they get so close, but it's like, oh, but you're so heavy. You're so dense. It's so you're not seeing me in my imperfection, and it seems like, that the free will doesn't play into that heavy, dense agenda. So I've just been sitting with the information about, okay, this cancer that is growing in my body is moving. And big bad scary, it's inevitable. I've really harmonized with passing. There's a little bit of density around leaving my son, a lot of big density because I love him so much. Like, what a gift, but he did sign up for this before he came here. He signed up for me to be his mom. He signed up for all the lessons that come along with it, right? That's just my belief system, anyways. And, like I did with my parents, there's something that my parents both individually, reflected for me so I can, grow in that awareness and be expansive in like a growth mindset and to bring a greater healing to my family, right? Again, that's just through my particular eyes, and this is a storyline that I'm sharing, right? And so I'm like, I know what I want. I know what I want. I want to be left alone. I want to have my hormones blocked so it doesn't just instantaneously feed my cancer. I would love for my estrogen and progesterone, and actually just a bit of information, you need estrogen in order for progesterone to be processed in the body or to be received or secreted or whatever. But like, so they block my estrogen, therefore it blocks my progesterone. Testosterone, though, that's my friend. Still all feminine, but I have a little bit more of a edge to me. You know what I mean? I lost kind of my softness sometimes, and I'm just a little bit more cutthroat. But I don't mean to be, not at all. My heart is pure and feels lovely and lighter. It's just, I function a little bit more like cutthroat. Um, so I was guided to, a seed was planted in my inner higher self. It's like, again, the screen comes down and it was research, pretty much like research, if you get COVID, what happens when you're on these, highly toxic medicines, they need to be super toxic. I get that. And I was like, huh. And so I was really trying to find, yeah, that information, right? And I also wanted to know, people that have cancer that got the vaccination, what's happening to them too, because my numbers started going up just 3 months because no, it's like 3.5 months after I got my vaccination. So I was just kind of curious. There's no information, by the way, about about the vaccination and mortality. You'll find nothing. I couldn't find anything. And if you can, will you please share it with me? Honestly, I genuinely want to know. Is there a study, maybe perhaps in Israel, these people that are on these, toxic medicines, and they get COVID? What's the likelihood that, with the vaccination, that they die, right? But what I was just seeing is no mention of vaccine at all. And it's just the effects of COVID on somebody who is enduring these medicines, right? But it's really just cancer. But really, it's the combination of all these medicines that kind of weaken the immune system, doing a good job of killing the cancer or keeping it at bay, but still, nonetheless, it's the meds with the cancer, right? Holy moly. I mean, I am, again, no scientist. I'm definitely an intuitive. And I think I read that I'm 3 times more likely to die from COVID-19 than somebody who is not on these anti-cancer meds. And that's a complication because of cancer. But I have a feeling it's not, because I'm not immunocompromised, I'm hormone compromised. But if my body is fighting with these meds that are complicating all my systems working harmoniously together, and I get COVID, and I'm on these various chemotoxins, now my body is saying, hey, wait, we don't have the white blood cells and the defense to fight this virus. And it looked like about a third of the people that were in this study through the Fred Hutch Center, a third of them died when they got COVID while being on these toxic medicines, right? Meant to kill the cancer. But also, it's also weakening our immune system, so we can't fight necessarily with our white blood cells the virus when we get it, right? So in this heightened period of COVID-19 going around, um, do I want to risk getting COVID-19 and with, just a hormone blocker? Or do I want to experience COVID-19 being on a plethora um, of meds that 70% of people do have challenges with their white blood cell count, therefore lessen your body's ability to fight disease as it comes up, right? And this particular drug that I'm going to potentially be considering, it also causes like a disruption of skin stuff, like bacteria on the skin, and then nausea, which is already kind of hard to fight too, right? Because I've had skin issues in the past that are just agonizing. So I'm really trying to make a conscious decision, but some of the information is being left out, right? That's helping me make an informed decision about what is right for Miss Lisa Marie behind her eyes and storylines. I just feel like I need and deserve, and rightfully so, the fuller picture so I can make a conscious decision on what my next trajectory is or what my next plan of action is, combating something that it ultimately wants to kill me. It might take, though, we don't have a crystal ball. It could take 10 more years, 20 more years to take me out. Yeah, it's moving. Or do I get on heavier meds, you know, that weaken my body's ability to fight viruses, and then, it takes me out sooner? In the article that I read, it also said, and I can't, I could probably find it. I just, just research it for yourself. But it said that maybe doctors should be talking to their clients about earlier end of life earlier stages of end of life. Okay, well, no one's uttered that to me. No one has even mentioned this. It's really because of an intuitive ping that I was like, oh, I should probably look into that, right? And so I did, and therefore I found this information. But no one's talking to me about that. They were just like, the establishment was really just pushing, just get the vaccine, And I know that I have mentioned before, but just in case you didn't hear it, coincidentally enough, it appears that my cancer markers started going up about 3.5 months after I got the vaccine, which I felt obliged to do if I wanted to see my family. So I find that very interesting, and I would love some information around that too. Are other people experiencing that? Did their cancer numbers start going up after they maybe thought that they were doing, a duty for, being American, just doing it for the greater good, or maybe it was coercion, or, whatever the dynamics are, so much went on in the last few years with that. So I'm curious. I genuinely want to know, has anybody else's cancer's numbers gone up since getting the jab? If so, how are you doing now? Also, what kind of medical regimen are you on? Do you have issues with low blood cell count? If so, have you gotten sick yet? Were you able to fight it like a champ? Like, were your body systems in resonance with each other to help combat the symptoms? Or did you lose a loved one that was on, a highly toxic med, and they got COVID and they just didn't have it in them, the fight? I'm curious about that. I've heard a few stories like that. That's the only story that I've heard, actually. So, a third of the people passing away in this study from COVID, and no mention of vaccine, just that they were on anti-cancer meds. So I'm curious. I'm curious. So please, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for seeing me in this. I'm not trying to fix anything. I just want more information that than really mainstream allows people to have, and which would make you know, that would gain further, like fuller autonomy, like owning my full autonomy, owning my sovereignty, being able to make conscious choices without skewed statistics or information. That's all I really want. So, if anyone has anything to offer in regards to any of this science, I would love to see, in layman's term, journals about, oh yeah, this is what they're finding out, because I think I know what I saw, and it looked like the prognosis wasn't all that good when it came to getting COVID and being on these meds. So, anyways, I'm still making a choice. I'm not quite sure what I'll be doing here, but it's like time is now, because I'm due for my hormone blocker, and I don't have an ally. I do. They're all like, "Oh, I believe in you." Um, and they respect me, but no one's giving me the answers that I need because they still are a part of that system. So if there's somebody who's not attached to this system and that can speak freely, I would be so receptive and open to like the fuller picture, the more information. So thank you again for seeing me behind my blue eyes and storylines with Miss Lisa Marie. And until we see each other again, kiss your face. You're beautiful inside and out. And much love. Bye.